Oh, John, you're not on mute.
We still haven't figured out who Brandy's phone is. He's twirling away. All right, we are live now. I'm going to try to go through the proper steps. Here we go. All right. And we've got one more dude, LG Stylo 6. We have a lot going on here. Brandy Galaxy, I can't determine who you are.
That's Stephen Burr, Your Honor.
That looks like Joe May. That's Stephen Burr.
I know he's been contacting my office having problems hooking up this morning.
All right.
Mr. Burr.
Oh, he's gone. He's back. Mr. Davis, bear with us. We've got a lot going on here.
Understand.
This wasn't an ideal time to put this, so I apologize. LG Stylo 6, can you hear me? We lost Brandy again. We'll figure out who that is. All right, let's finish up what we were doing with our other cases. We had Miss Davis and Mr. Stickley and Shannon Wirtz go into a breakout room and file 211012. What do we know about that case, Deborah?
Your Honor, we're going to reduce it to simply a no proof of insurance.
All right. Ms. Davis, the difference between no proof of insurance and no insurance is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to a year in jail, and it carries at least a $325 fine and cost. No proof of insurance means you didn't have a little slip in the car. It's a civil infraction. It's a much lesser offense. The fine is $150. Are you willing to plead to the civil infraction of no proof of insurance?
I think it was directed to Ms. Wirtz.
Ms. Wirtz? She has a very poor connection, which we've been struggling with all morning. Ms. Wirtz, can you hear me?
I can.
All right, are you going to plead to having no proof of insurance?
Yes.
And that was on May 17th?
Yes,
Is
sir.
that correct? All right, the fine and cost is $150.
Yes,
it's due in 30 days, which would make it due June 25.
Okay.
Are you still at the 4th Street address?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll send you that. If you need more time, contact the court. You need to make sure you pay that fine, or your license could be suspended. So this will show as a civil infraction. No points, won't suspend your license, but you need to pay that to make sure it's squared away. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're free to go. Let me see if I can remove you. I've got so many people.
Thank you.
here. Thank you for waiting. All right, we'll remove her.
Thank.
All right, now, We have a lot going on, but I would like to free up the Branch County Jail. They were gracious enough to call in at 10 to 9. We're tying up their Polycom room. We're shifting gears from the arraignments to pre-exam conferences. We have a lot of those today. As I indicated, we have 65 cases set for this morning, plus the pre-trials. But we'll do the best we can. We're going to address the matter of People versus Sonia D. Moyer, 21960FY. Mr. Reed is here, and Mr. Reed, would you like an opportunity to talk to your client in the breakout room?
Yes, and we can let Ms. Chartrand go, Your Honor. Ms. Chartrand is going to be a prelim.
Well, just a minute. Let me shift gears for a minute. Ms. Chartrand is let me get her file out. I saw your old client, Teresa Carpenter, this morning.
Oh.
She looks pretty good. And Kurt Richardson is representing her. Let me see if I can find Ms. Chartrand's file.
It's probably paper because it's that old.
Let me see. It's a 19. I don't have a paper file. There it is. Where is she? Alexandra C. There she is. Are you Alexandra Watkins or Chartrand Watkins?
It's both Chartrand Watkins.
All right. Mr. Reed, what are we doing here?
Set up for prelim.
All right. This prelim is next Wednesday, or next Tuesday. That will be June 1 at 1 o'clock. There's some conflicts. I'm doing the murder prelim next week on the Dingman case, June 1st. Judge Pattison will be handling the other cases that day. So, Ms. Chartrand, your case is set for next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Stay in contact with your attorney, Mr. Reed, if there is any change, okay?
Your Honor, I would like to place the offer on the record.
All right, go ahead.
The people would offer if she pleads to a misdemeanor of larceny, 200 to 1,000, we would have no objection to a height of probation if she so chooses.
All right, Mr. Reed and the defendant can discuss that between now and next week. HIDA stands for Holmes Youthful Training Act. It's a way to make the conviction non-public if you successfully complete a probation. Mr. Reed is well experienced with that, and he'll explain that to you between now and next Wednesday. If it's going to be a plea, it can be done at that time. If it needs a preliminary examination, it can be done at that same time, June 1 at 1 o'clock. Ms. Chartrand, do you have any questions?
No.
All right, you're free to go.
I'll give you a call, Alexandra.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
And I'll talk to Miss Moyer, Your Honor, in a breakout.
All right, let me set that up. And I got to bring in somebody named Jim and iPhone. All right, let me get the breakout room situated here and put the Branch County Jail. One concern I have, TJ, is I've had difficulty in incarcerated settings with the client being able to get out of the breakout room. So let's hope she can get some help from a corrections.
That'll work.
All right, let me get the right parties here. I got 50 people in my feed. Attorney T.J. Reed and Branch County Jail. All right. Ms. Moyer, you're going to have a join the breakout room. Hopefully you can do that from where you are. There you go. All right, let's bring in Jammin's iPhone and see who this is. Mr. Reyes, as you're outside, I think it's probably safe to take your mask off so we can see you. Thank you. That's Mr. Bush. We haven't determined who Jammin is. Keith, we're done with the arraignments. And so I think you're safe to click out.
Anything else, just give me a call.
All right, thank you. We got Jammin iPhone 11 Pro Max. Who am I speaking with?
Jamila McFerrin.
Well, you're late to the party. I just let everybody go. Did you get my call?
No, I didn't receive a call, and I couldn't
Well,
find
this hearing was set for 8:15.
I couldn't find the meeting. I had to call the courthouse to get the meeting ID because I could not find that letter at all. And then I was having trouble with Wi-Fi. So.
All right, let me dig your file out here. You're charged with assault and battery. It's alleged that on or about May 13th, you assaulted someone. Let's see if I can tell who it was.
Your Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt. Will you ask Mr. Eby to either shut off his camera if he's going to be smoking or stop vaping or smoking in the courtroom?
Yes. Austin, pretend like you're in a courtroom. And Martin, would you take your hat off? You had a mask on and a New York hat. And Austin, put your cigarette down or your vape. We're in a proceeding. We're dealing with a lady that's an hour and a half late for court. So stick around for a minute. Thank you, Deborah. We've only got one screen here. Ms. McFerrin, it's alleged that you assaulted a Pizza Hut employee in front of a police officer, and you smell like alcohol. And so rather than arrest you, they gave you a ticket. The person you assaulted is Alexis Maggart. Apparently worked at Pizza Hut. They say this happened on May 13th. Probably the safest thing to do is get an attorney to assist you with this. Is that agreeable with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm not sure exactly what all this is entailed. I'll show you plead not guilty.
Okay. She was handing me my money and I just snatched it. So they said that's the simple assault unwanted contact.
All right, well, don't say any more about it at this point. Maybe they'll reduce the charge, but since you're an hour and a half late, everybody that was here for that left. Appoint an attorney and set attorney pretrial. We will set the attorney pretrial for June 18th at 9 o'clock. I'm going to send you some information regarding your lawyer and the court date. It will be a different number than this one. It'll be Judge Patterson's courtroom, I believe. Are you still at 911 Fifth Street?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we will send you that information. And I want you to call your lawyer, make an appointment to discuss that with them prior to the court hearing, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, that's a very busy morning, that Friday pretrial morning, so don't log in 2 hours late for that, right at 9. All right,
Yes.
you're good to go. Judge Patterson will see you on the 19th.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, we'll remove her. All right, now we've got a host of cases to address. We've got John Bush, Paul Gibson, Jordan Yancey. Jordan had given us a little heads up on what's up with her cases, but I don't see either of her clients here.
Your
Let's see
Honor.
if we, yes?
My one client did waive, so that was filed with the
Oh,
prosecutor's
that's
office.
right. The other
And,
was
the plea is in
is
custody.
in custody. Oh, yes, it is. I'm sorry, Jordan.
Your Honor,
All
we
right.
can take care of Ms. Beebe. That was a nollie that was filed yesterday.
All right.
If the court has signed it, we can certainly send her home.
All right, Ms. Beebe, you were charged with larceny of building and larceny under $200. The prosecutor has agreed to dismiss that charge. Your lawyer, Mr. Bush, is here with us. You are free to go on about your business. There was a $5,000 PR bond, so there's no money that's going to be returned, but the case has been dismissed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Good luck, Ms. Beebe.
Yep, thank you.
Oops, I almost removed Mr. Davis. Darla B. Oops, darn it. She hung up, so I don't have to remove her. All right, now, Mr. Reed is back, but my fear was that she might be stuck in there. When we close the breakout room, it might take 60 seconds. We decided if we added up all these 60-second waits while we closed the breakout room, it would add up to a day
Thank you.
of additional life. All right, Ms. Moyer is back, so that's good. This is file 21960FY, People versus Sonia D. Moyer. The charge is possession of methamphetamine. It's alleged that on or about May 7th, that she did possess methamphetamine here in St. Joseph County. That is a felony punishable by up to 10 years imprisonment and a fine of up to, I believe, $15,000. Mr. Reed, what's the status here?
A couple issues. One, we got an issue of her bond right now. It appears it was posted through St. Joseph County on a cash surety. Is that what the court file is showing?
Yes.
And I think she's going to, we talked about her just revoking her own bond on this matter,
All right.
because that way she gets credit for all the time she's sitting in Branch County right now. Because her next court date in Branch County is not till June 21st. So she's sitting on a revoked bond in Branch County and can't get out. And so sitting on a paid bond here doesn't make a lot of sense at this point.
What's the charge in Branch County?
It's a meth charge. It's a failure to appear on a meth charge. So she had a bond posted. I don't believe the bonding agent canceled that bond. However, the judge canceled the bond. So if the judge
In Branch
reinstated,
County. All right, well, let's take a look here.
Your Honor,
Just a minute.
sure.
Bond was posted by quick bail bonds on May 20th. And so she wishes to revoke that bond?
Yeah. I mean, at this
Mr.
point, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Turns out that Mr. Davis from Quick Bail Bonds happens to be here on the feed. Ms. Moyer, do you wish to revoke or cancel that bond?
Yes.
Mr. Davis, do you have any objection to that?
Not at all, Your Honor.
All right, I'm probably better do an order to that effect. I'll do it later.
Davis, what were you gonna say? You were getting ready to say something.
Yes, Your Honor, at this point, under the circumstances, we would offer a use of methamphetamine, no objection to time served for where she has been, even though she was technically on bond, she has been in custody. If she's willing to take that offer.
She'll accept that offer. We talked about
Yes.
that. I mean, I don't anticipate her getting out of Branch County anytime soon on this case, Your Honor. The judge made his point by setting her next court date on June 21st and canceling her bond. So I think we know where Judge Weigel stands.
Well, as I say often, Judge Weigel doesn't mess around over there in Branch County. All right, Ms. Moyer, let's talk about this. Do you understand that if you plead to this misdemeanor charge of use of methamphetamine, the felony will be dismissed? Do you understand?
Yes.
Use of methamphetamine is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $2,000. It also used to require your license be suspended. I don't think it does anymore. But it shows as a misdemeanor drug conviction on your record. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, this applies to everybody who's here today who may be entering a plea. Do you understand that if you plead to this charge, you will be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury? There will be no trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. Mr. Reed has been appointed to represent you. You could also hire an attorney of your own choosing if you wished. If you had a trial, you would have the right to take the witness stand and testify on your own behalf. But you don't have to, because you have a right not to testify, and if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury could not hold your silence against you. And you have the right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand?
Yes.
Other than this plea agreement, did anyone promise you anything to get you to plead to this?
No.
Or threaten you?
No.
All right, let's talk about this. Were you here in St. Joe County on May 7th?
Yes.
And did you at that time use or possess some methamphetamine?
Yes, sir.
All right, you got arrested, I think, on May 8th.
The 7th.
7th. And you posted the bond, which now was a waste of money, as Judge Weigel revoked yours. You were in jail here for 13 days. And then how long have you been in the Branch County Jail?
Since the 21st.
She was taken directly over. She filled out the writ paperwork to get over there. So she.
Okay, so 13 plus 5 is 18 days jail. Ms. Davis, you're recommending time served?
Yes, Your Honor.
Concurrent with Branch County sentence?
No objection.
None.
Mr. Davis has no objection to the bond being revoked, and it's revoked anyway now that she's entered a plea. I'm going to waive the fines and costs. I don't want that $125 hanging out there. All right, your St. Joe matter is completed. Apparently you have issues in Branch County. Judge Weigel's a district court judge, so I guess the most you could get is a year. If it was Judge O'Grady, it would be a felony charge.
It is a felony charge, but she failed to appear for some stuff, Your Honor. So I think still working our way through that.
All right. Well, best of luck, Ms. Moyer. You seem clear-headed here this morning. I find that often that some jail time helps people that are struggling with meth be more clear and understanding. Did you understand everything we just did here today?
Yes, sir.
All right. Best of luck to you on your other stuff, but your St. Joseph County things are completed.
Thank you.
Good luck, Ms. Moyer.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna remove the Branch County Jail. 9 o'clock probably wasn't ideal, but we did manage to conduct that piece of business. Oops.
And Judge, when you're done, I've got one more to report on, and then that was my last case, which is Mr. Baker.
All right, he isn't here. What's the status with him?
That he's not here.
No. Well, let's see if Mr. Davis posted his bond.
Probably did.
Hey, I like having him here. Maybe you could make
Yeah,
it.
it's quite handy. We should have him here every day.
Well, if you'll give me a front row seat, I'll be there.
Well, you've got one.
All right, thank you.
All right, this is Tyler Jordan Baker. File number is 21913FY. Mr. Timothy Reed is representing the defendant. He posted a $7,500 cash or surety bond.
Does not appear that he's in custody.
I don't believe that he is. And I
Quick
can
bail bonds.
and I can give, Your Honor, just so the court is aware, what had happened was this was a substitution case where I got in on from Mr. Bush. The court signed the substitution on May 17th. I sent Mr. Baker notice of this on May 17th to an address of 280, or it doesn't matter. I sent it to him per the proof of service that I filed with the court. I have since learned that he does not reside at that address, that is actually a sibling's address that the court has. So while I'm not familiar with what paperwork Mr. Baker was given at the time of release, I'm not. That number does not work.
All right.
That number is actually his mother's number.
Okay.
So I have spoken with her, and she indicated that she would send a message to contact me, which I appreciated that, but she does not have any other contact information other than, I believe, some type of social media presence with him.
All right, I'm going to issue a bench warrant.
So, Ms. Davis, if you could leave the offer open, I just haven't had a chance to talk to him, and I'm not convinced he received my office's letter based on the timing of when we got it, as well as the address change.
Understood, but it appears that he has 2 warrants out of Indiana as well, and he failed to appear on 5/18/21 for a hearing down there. So
What county?
this would be in Steuben County.
Okay, over and down. Okay, over and down.
All right, now, we're gonna do a bench warrant, new bond, $50,000, cash or surety. Mr. Davis is on notice that there'll be a notice of bond forfeiture. Maybe he can roust him up. We have to wait 48 hours before we issue the warrant under the new laws that passed April 1st. Mr. Davis, you can put that on your to-do list and see if somebody can find Tyler Jordan Baker. All right, anything else, Mr. Reed?
Oh, Your Honor, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Davis, and I'll be out.
Welcome.
All right, thank you. Who has Martin Reyes Tellez?
I do, Your Honor.
This is file 21884FY, Martin Reyes Tellez. He's charged domestic violence, says second offense. That can't be right. He wouldn't be a prelim. By my count, this is the 1, 2, 3, 4th time Mr. Reyes Tellez has been charged with this. Not sure which resulted in convictions. He had only had Mr. Hill out of Detroit trying to keep him from being deported. Let's see what the actual charge is here, sir. Because my information isn't correct. The charge is domestic violence, second offense. And
There's
resisting-
also
That's
Resisting-
the charge.
resisting.
2 counts of resisting obstructing a police officer. That's where the
Three
felonies. 3? Oh yeah, 3 counts of resisting obstructing a police officer. It's not on this sheet. What are we gonna do with this, Mr. Barnes, or Mr. Bush?
I've never met him. He hasn't contacted my office, so other than a discussion with Ms. Davis and reading the police report, I know nothing about the case.
What's up with that, Mr. Reyes?
What's up with what?
You didn't contact your lawyer.
Oh, it's because I've been busy and stuff like that. Like I tried, like I barely got the letters, like 2 days ago, and I barely got my other, like my phone broke, so I barely changed my number and everything to this one.
Well, are you gonna retain Mr. Hill, or are you gonna go with Mr. Bush?
Well, I honestly don't need a lawyer because I'm gonna go to trial for this.
Well, you need a lawyer. You can wait in the waiting room. You're at work. I tried to take care of your case because you are at work, but it was too inconvenient for you to call your lawyer, so you can sit in the waiting room. We'll come back to you in a bit. And if you're gonna go to trial, you definitely need a lawyer. So stick around. I'll come back to you later. Apparently it wasn't a big priority for him. All right. Now, let's talk about who we've got here with us. We've got Ashley Lowe, Austin Eby, Stephen Burr, Mike Is that you, Mr. May? Style 06? Okay.
Yes, sir.
We got Joe May. Good morning, sir.
How you doing, sir?
Good.
I'm trying to figure out who Mike H is.
I don't have any Mike or Mike H on my list.
What's your name, sir? Mike H.
Mike Hamill, Hammel.
Okay. Who's your attorney, Mr. Hamill?
It looks like it's an ordinance violation case, Your Honor. He was probably set for this morning. City of Three Rivers.
Yes.
Well, he was way late. I don't even see it. Let's see here. Is
It said
pretrial?
it started at 8:30.
Yeah,
You
there's
had a pretrial on the other side. You logged into the wrong side. Mr. Hamill, have you talked to anybody
Yes, I have.
on the other side? Did they send you
Yeah.
over? All right, let me check my email from Matt.
They sent me this link.
Okay. Matt had lowered the charge to no valid ops, improper turn. All right, let's take care of that while we're here. Mr. Hamill, you're on the right spot. You did just what you were asked to do, so my apologies.
Okay.
It's just we have a lot of cases going on, but we might as well try to finish this. We still have Mr. Davis waiting on the bond cases. This is two files regarding Michael Owen Hamill, file 21871 and 21872. Driving suspended as the first charge. And they're going to reduce that to no valid operator's license. That doesn't require a suspension. They're going to dismiss the fail to transfer the plate, which is going to save you $150, and you're going to plead to an improper turn. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
The improper turn is a civil infraction. We had one of these this morning. Were you in an accident in Three Rivers on April 26th?
No.
Well, did you make an improper turn?
Yes.
All right. That's a $120 civil infraction fine. It's due by June 30th. I'll give it to you at the end of the month.
Is that something
That-
I can just stop in Three Rivers and pay?
You have to come to Centerville.
Centerville. Okay.
You can't get here from there, but Centerville's in the middle of the county. It's where I'm located right now. All right, then the charge that's left is driving suspended, which they're reducing to no ops. No operator's license is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100. It does carry 2 points, but it does not require a license suspension. Do you understand the charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
I did go through the advice of rights with Miss Moyer while you were on the feed. Do you understand you have those same rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And other than this plea agreement, did anyone promise you anything to get you to plead to this
No, Your Honor.
or threaten you?
No.
Where were you going that day on April 26th?
I was heading back towards South Portage.
Periwinkle.
Yes, sir.
What did I tell you about periwinkle?
It's a flower.
And it's the color of blue. And there used to be a Crayola crayon.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Don't worry about it. I make references all the time nobody gets. But at any rate, sir, what's your occupation?
I am a maintenance, around like a maintenance crew for a company.
All right, well, I don't think this is going to suspend your license, but you're going to have to get your license straightened out. Do you understand?
Sir, I came prepared today. I already went and cleaned up all my stuff in Kalamazoo, and I got my license back here.
All right, now, I'm not 100% positive this isn't going to undo that. I think Mr. Barnes believes it isn't, but at this point, you've got a valid license, and let's hope it stays that way. But a moving violation while you're on suspension could cause another suspension. But I'm going to show this as no ops. Does that change your mind about whether you wish to plead to this?
No. I've got to take care of it one way or another. I figured I'd have a foot farther in the door if I ended up coming to court with the license back.
You're exactly right. I thought he might have given you a little better deal, but this is as good as it gets, I guess. $50 fine. I reduced it because you got the civil infraction. $75 crime victims' rights fee, $50 state minimum fee. That's $175. That's going to do, I'm going to give you an additional month by July 30th. That's the last Friday in July. You got to pay the first ticket by the end of June, the second ticket by the end of July. The total is $295. If you can pay it all at once, that would be fine too.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
I I do not, Your Honor.
All right, you're good to go then, sir. Thank you for waiting.
All right, thank you.
All right, we had some leftover business. Mr. Mr. Davis, I haven't forgotten about you. I'm going to try to take care of our people that are not in custody. Then we will address your bonds, and then we will turn to the people that are in jail. Mr. Bush is here, and let's talk about his clients. We've got Joseph May here.
That's
John,
going to be a prelim, if you want to call that. We could take care of him.
All right. Are you Joseph William May?
Yes, sir.
Well, I've known you for a long time, but you're here with your lawyer, Mr. John Bush.
Yes, sir.
And he asked that we set this for a prelim for next week, and you'll continue to discuss this with the prosecutor. Are you on probation or parole right now?
No, sir.
Your Honor, he is on bond for open cases in circuit court. And I just want to make it clear that our offer was that if he waived this case into circuit court, we would package it with the other open cases. But there's no offer if we go to prelim, and this could affect the offers or lack thereof in his other circuit court cases.
He does have a status conference Thursday afternoon on the felony case.
All right. Do you have the file number there?
John, do you represent him on those?
Yes, I do. I don't know that I have that in front of me.
All right,
right
that's
now.
fine. So that's this Thursday. What time?
I believe they're set at either 1 or 2 o'clock. They're after lunch.
All right, Thursday afternoon, May 27th, in circuit court. All right, I will set this for prelim. In the meantime, we'll see what happens. Set this for prelim for June 1, 21 at 1 o'clock. Mr. May, are you
seeking a bond violation for these new charges in circuit court, just so that they're aware?
all right? Who posted his bond? Quick Bail Bonds? Who did
Yes,
your
sir.
bond, Joe? Rachel?
Yes, sir.
All right. Number one with a bullet around here. All right, Mr. May, you usually do a good job of appearing when you're supposed to. Stay in contact with your lawyer, Mr. Bush. Are you still at the Middle Street address?
Yes, sir.
All right. Next month, Tuesday, June 1st at 1, you're free to continue to discuss the case. If it is resolved with a waiver and a package deal, fine. If you wish to have a prelim, that's okay too. All right, Judge Patterson will see you next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Mr. May, you're good
Yes,
to
sir.
go.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, Stephen Burr has been waiting. He's in Brandeis Galaxy A11. This is also our crime of the day and every other day, possession of methamphetamine, file 211009FY, again represented by Mr. Bush. Mr. Bush, what's the status here?
He's going to execute a waiver or make a verbal waiver.
All right. Laura, could I have a bind-over sheet on Stephen Burr? Mr. Burr, can you hear me? You need to unmute your mic.
I know he's been struggling. Can I take him off? I was trying to get his Zoom going this morning.
He got it going. It's spun for a while, but he needs to unmute the mic. I think
Okay.
we'll get, there you go. Good
Okay,
morning,
sorry
sir. This
about
is Judge Middleton. We met before, and your lawyer, Mr. Bush, is here with us. All right, you're charged with possession of methamphetamine, which is a felony punishable by up to 10 years imprisonment and a fine of up to $15,000. Let me take a look at it. Everything is online. or actually not online, it's in a program called OnBase. It's upon a time I had paper files. Those days are long gone. So let's see here what this is. The allegation is that on or about May 13th, you did possess methamphetamine here in St. Joe County. As a first offense, it's punishable by up to 10 years and a fine of up to $15,000. Yours is charged as a third felony offense, making it up to 20 years imprisonment. I'm sure that your prosecutor and your attorney are trying to work out some resolution if possible. In order to preserve that right, an opportunity, I understand you're going to waive the preliminary examination. The district court does not have jurisdiction over felonies. The circuit court does. So let me read you the language. I, Stephen Richard Burr, understand I have a right to employ an attorney. I also have a right to a court-appointed attorney, which we have done, if I'm financially unable to employ one. I have a right to a preliminary examination where it must be shown that a crime was committed and probable cause exists to charge me with the crime. I voluntarily waive my right to a preliminary examination and understand that I will be bound over to the circuit court on the charges in the complaint and warrant. Is that what you wish to do?
Whatever it was my lawyer and I discussed, yes.
Yeah, that's what we discussed.
All right, the matter will be bound over to circuit court for further discussion. The next thing will be a status conference, which will be sometime coming. You posted bond of $10,000 cash or surety, probably also with quick bail bonds. So please continue to comply with the conditions of your bond.
Yes, sir.
Are you still at the same address on Ottawa Street?
No, sir. Currently, I am at 838 Lima Road, Kendallville, Indiana.
Just a minute. Just a minute.
I'm actually in between addresses, right?
Well, I wouldn't have had you put it out on the record, but you got it out before I got a chance. What's the zip code?
I don't know the zip code. I can look it up real quick, sir.
All right, well, I don't believe you had my permission to leave the state of Michigan, but that's what we had as an address, so they reside in Indiana. All right. Stay in contact with your lawyer. If you change your number or your address, please let your lawyer know.
Yes, sir.
He has been cooperating and contacting me, Your Honor. And I do believe the zip code is 46755.
That does sound about right.
All right. You're free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Ms. Davis, you approve that waiver?
Yes, Your Honor, we accept the waiver.
All right, we're plugging away here. Austin Eby is Mr. Bush's client. What are we doing with that case, John?
Your Honor, there is a plea offer. I've been in contact with him. I tried to contact him yesterday and got his voicemail, so he does not know the current plea offer.
Well, let's leave him where he is for a minute. How about Ashley Lowe?
Same with her. Been in contact with her. Miss Davis and I have been working on that. An offer came through just a few minutes before we came on the record this morning.
Well, let me let you talk to those clients in the breakout room, and we'll take care of Mr. Davis's. Paul, what have you got for me this morning? Mr. Rowe?
Yes, Mr. Rowe
Well, let me take a minute and start the breakout room so they can talk while we're waiting. Mr. Evie, I'm going to put you in a room with your lawyer, and then Ashley will do the same for you when they're finished. And we've still got Mr. Reyes Tellis in the waiting room. All right, let me pull Mr. Rowe's file out here. This is file 21743FY, People versus Eric Scott Rowe. Mr. Gibson has been appointed to represent the defendant. He is not here. I got an email.
Your Honor, he called me and I told him to wait to log in unless I call him.
Well, let's talk about this. Mr. Rowe has a number of cases pending in circuit court. He was in a serious automobile accident within the last 10 days to 2 weeks. The last time I saw him, he was laying down in bed, and I admonished him for being in bed, and then I realized that he'd been in an accident and he was in a lot of pain, so I let him stay there. There was an exchange of emails last night in the evening between you and Mr. Marvin, but I wasn't clear what Mr. Marvin's position was. Mr. Marvin had represented Mr. Rowe in previous proceedings, so we have special prosecutor in other cases. This offense allegedly occurred on February 21st during the term of Mr. Marvin. Now, I don't believe that there's a conflict for Mr. Marvin to prosecute Mr. Rowe. What's your position here, Mr. Gibson?
Your Honor, I wouldn't take a position on the special prosecutor issue, but with regard to Mr. Rowe, I did speak to him on the telephone this morning, but I'm asking if the court would consider adjourning this for a few weeks to hopefully see if Mr. Rowe will be feeling better. I had court for him about a month ago in circuit court, and he was still in the hospital at that point, trying to recover from the accident. And it's my understanding that now he has gone home, but he's still undergoing physical therapy, and he's not. They're still trying to determine the extent of his injuries. It's my understanding that they weren't clear if he had a head injury or not, but it's a concern. So he's
let's take a look.
Well.
When's your next duty week?
I believe in 2 weeks I have a duty week.
Yeah, June 8th. Deborah, do you have any objection to continuing this?
Your Honor, I don't have an objection to continuing it to the 8th under the circumstances. However, I believe that we should have some proof of whatever has occurred. It was my understanding the accident might have been in Indiana. He's on multiple felony bonds, including bond on this case. He shouldn't be in Indiana to start with. I don't know if he was the driver. He shouldn't be driving. There's a lot of concerns, and this is one of those situations where a defendant is being accused of multiple cases, racking up multiple cases while on bond, and keeps bonding out. I certainly am cognizant of the fact that if he's got a traumatic brain injury or was in an accident, but we still have to take care of these cases. And
well, the magistrate set a PR bond, I believe, because of the accident. I've talked to Mr. Rowe twice, and I don't believe he's faking it. He's injured. He historically shows up for all of his, you mentioned all these cases, he always shows up. But he was debilitated when I talked to him just a few days ago. So I'm going to grant the request to adjourn this to June 8th, but we need to get up to speed on everything that's going on here. I did a prelim or two last year from him stealing some other things. And then he had some other things. I don't even know. He must have 4 cases or more pending in circuit court because of the inability to try jury cases. The cases are backed up. I don't know any of the details of the accident either, but I believe that he was in an accident. So we're going to continue this to June 8th at 9 a.m. for defendant to recover from accident, and then perhaps there'll be a better. And the other problem, Deborah, is some of these are in your office and some of these are with a special prosecutor, and David can't have any input on the plea negotiation on the other cases, so it makes things cumbersome. So Paul's question, should everything go to a special prosecutor, might be a legitimate question.
Paul, can you provide some information about the accident, where it was, date, that sort of thing?
I can try to get you everything I have.
Thank you.
All right, well, at any rate, we're going to continue that case to June 8th. It's Mr. Gibson's duty week. That'll give 2 weeks for everybody to take a closer look at this and figure out what's going on, and to see what the state of his recovery is.
So is that for a preliminary exam conference on the 8th, Your Honor?
Yes,
And then
pre-exam
following
conference.
week? Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Paul.
There's one other case I think I have, or at least Clarence McLean.
He's in custody. Do you know what he wants to do?
I just need to speak with Mr. Marvin, I guess, about it, and then, so should I don't know if I should.
Yeah, why don't you call Mr. Marvin and talk to him, click out. We're gonna finish the non-custody people. We're gonna take care of quick bail bonds, and then we're gonna dial up the jail and get all of our in-custody people here.
Okay,
So,
I'll call Mr. Marvin and then, thank you.
Poor Jordan's been on this feed for 2 hours waiting for us to get to her custody case, but let's plug away. We've got Austin, who was in a breakout room with Mr. Bush. John, I'm gonna now put you in a breakout room with
Ashley.
Ashley.
Thank you.
And let me close the one I had and open a new one. Ashley, thank you for your patience. Can you hear me?
You're welcome. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. All right, Austin, you just wait here. All right, Mr. Davis, we've got a window of opportunity to discuss several of your cases. You had a front row seat of our proceedings today. You posted bond, or your company has posted bond for a number of our defendants. These are ordered as show causes. We've had a lot of these lately because they were backed up and the staff has been trying to catch up on all these. First one we're going to address is Jacoby James Bentley Reed, file 20877SM. Mr. Reed has lived for as long as I can remember with his father at 510 Union Street in Tree River since he was a high school kid. Didn't work. There are 3 files, 20877. Darn it. That number doesn't even work. 3 files, 20877SM, domestic violence second offense, 20, bond in that case is $1,000 surety. 201998 SM, domestic violence, second offense. Bond in that case is $2,500. And file 202131 SM, also charging malicious destruction of a building, over 200 and less than 200. What do you know about that case?
Your Honor, we know he is still at on Union Street. I called yesterday and left a message, but nobody returned the call.
Well, these are 2020 cases. That's embarrassing. 318, 831, and 1113. These are assaultive offenses. I'm going to grant 30 days to recover the defendant, or I'm going to forfeit these bonds.
All right, Your Honor, he'll be one of the first ones we'll go get.
Well, he shouldn't be very hard to find, but
No.
we're disappointed. There was just been, with COVID, people posted bond, nobody looked for them. We didn't do any bond forfeiture notices, and it was just the Wild West. This is a source of embarrassment to me that these domestic violence cases have been out for this long. Grant 30 days to recover the defendant, or will forfeit bonds. All right, I'll
Yes.
set those aside. Next is Dustin Shepard. A little less serious. No insurance. Failed to stop at the scene of an accident, an unregistered vehicle. That is a $500 cash or surety bond. The date of offense is January 16th of 20. So that's quite old also. He had a County Line Road address. What do we know about that one?
Yep, still show him at County Line Road. I called and the phone was busy yesterday. I did it 3 times. No answer, but it was busy. I don't anticipate a problem with this gentleman. It's just that, as you indicated, all of the courts are backlogged and it puts us behind also.
All right, same thing. He shouldn't be that hard to find. I'll extend 30 days before bond forfeiture. And then our last one is Wayne Tolbert. Wayne is a Three Rivers guy. He's got family in town. Had an Elm Street address. This is also a domestic violence case. And again, a source of embarrassment that we're letting domestic violence cases trail out for longer than we'd like. He failed to appear for last pretrial on March 4th, so this one isn't that old. He has, as I indicated, family here. I believe his parents moved away somewhere, but I'm not sure what the status is. What do we know about this one?
I still show him at 820 Elm Street. And I called yesterday and left a message with a lady, and she said she would get in touch with him and have him turn himself in. I haven't heard any more than that, Your Honor.
My sense of it is he left. I don't know, he went, I think he went somewhere, but he needs to come back. He didn't appear in March. And he should not be that hard to find. Grant 30-day extension before bond forfeiture.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
I expect you'll catch all these guys, which I would hope we can get the cases back on track.
So do I, Your Honor. I have one other question if you have a minute.
Okay.
We have one gentleman that we're supposed to have a Zoom conference on Thursday. I don't know if you're inclined to take care of that today or not.
I have about 40 other prelim cases waiting and a bunch of people at the jail. Who's the guy from Thursday?
Kerry Cannon.
Yes, he's also AWOL. I'll tell you what, find it between now and Thursday, and then we won't have to deal with it. But we'll deal with that on Thursday.
All right, not a problem, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right, that takes care of that. All right, we got John Bush back. We got Deborah Davis back. We got Ashley back. Let me, and poor Jordan's stuck here with us. Let me remove Mr. Davis. All right, now let's address Austin E. Time for a cigarette. File 211001. Mr. Eby, would you unmute your microphone? Good morning, sir. Are you Austin D. Eby?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're charged with possession of methamphetamine and a Sturgis civil infraction of retail fraud. Mr. Bush, what's the status here?
This is a little bit unique. Ms. Davis is going to reduce the charge to use of methamphetamine. Because of a prior incident he had in Indiana, he's not 7411 eligible, but they would not object to a Home Juvenile Trainee Act probation.
All right, well, I might, so we'll get a pre-sentence here. Mr. Eby?
Yes, Your Honor.
The prosecutor is going to reduce this felony charge to a misdemeanor charge of use of methamphetamine. Let me look this up here. Get rid of a couple of cases. It's alleged that on or about May 12th in the city of Sturgis that you did possess methamphetamine. That's a felony punishable by up to 10 years in prison and a fine of up to $15,000. The prosecutors agreed to reduce that to a charge of use of methamphetamine, which is a misdemeanor. Punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. Your attorney tells me that you're not eligible for probation under section 7411. That's section 3337411 of the Public Health Code. If you have a prior drug offense, you're not eligible for it. The prosecutor thought perhaps you might be eligible for a Holmes Youthful Trainee probation, and I don't have enough information to know about that. So if you do plead to this, I'm going to set it for sentencing out a couple of days. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Other than the plea agreement, did anyone promise you anything to get you to plead to this?
No, Your Honor.
Or threaten you?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you hear me go through the advice of rights with the other people earlier?
Yeah.
Did you, Ashley? Hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll do it. All right, I'll do it again just to make sure. Ashley, this applies to you also. Take a deep breath. Do you understand that if you plead to this charge, you will be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury? There will be no trial. If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. Mr. Bush has been appointed to represent you. You could also hire an attorney of your own choosing if you wish. If you had a trial, you have the right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. You would have the right to take the witness stand yourself and testify on your own behalf, but you don't have to because you have a right not to testify. And if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury could not hold your silence against you. And you have the right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand all that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, were you in Sturgis on May 12th?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did at that time you use or possess some methamphetamine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Where were you?
Walmart.
All right, are you employed?
No.
What kind of work have you done?
I did construction work, factory work before, and I used to work in the Walmart.
Okay. All right. Well, let me set this out a bit. I'm going to get a pre-sentence report. I want to know more information. How come you're not working now?
I just got out of jail, and I've been trying to get my birth certificate, and I just got my ID.
Where were you born?
Sturgis.
All right, well then you can come over here to the clerk and get your birth certificate.
Okay.
I think it's $10.
Might be 12.
But what?
I think it's 12.
I think the rate's at 12.
All right, if you only have $10, I'll loan you $2. But anyway, it's $12 to come get your birth certificate. What county were you convicted of in Indiana?
Woodley County.
All right. Let's pick a date. John, does June 29th work for you?
What time, Your Honor?
11 a.m.
I'll check. Your Honor, I'll be available. It is my duty week, so it would be my PEC day. But...
No, June 29th. Let me look at this. I want to do it on June 28th,
okay,
on Monday.
Not June 28th. No problem at all on the 28th, Your Honor.
All right. All right, Mr. Eby, we're gonna set this for June 28th at 11 a.m. Are you still at the 703 Chicago address?
Yes.
All right, what I'd like to see, if you're employed by that time, prosecutor's not objecting to home status, but I want to know more about it. So the probation department will be contacting you. Does your phone number end in 1929?
No, it's
All right,
517.
give it to your lawyer and then he'll email it to us, okay? All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You're good to go.
John, do you want me to email it to the probation department or to your office?
Probation department would be fine.
With you?
All right, Mr. E.B., you're going to remove you. He's got that Brian Setzer thing up there. I couldn't remember the name. All right, Ashley, thank you for your patience. You're doing better
You're
than
welcome.
Mr. Tellez is. He's out there in virtual limbo. This is file 21760, Ashley Lowe. She is charged with possession of methamphetamine, which is a felony punishable by up to 10 years in prison and a fine of up to $15,000. Let's take a look at your charge, Ms. Lowe. That's not what I wanted. They allege that on or about February 3rd in the village of Constantine that you possessed methamphetamine. Deborah, what's the plea offer in this case, if any?
Your Honor, the offer is she could either plead to use of meth and she is 7411 eligible, or she can plead to an attempted maintaining a drug house, both misdemeanors.
John, have you had an opportunity to discuss that with her?
Yes, I have in some detail, Your Honor.
What does she wish to do?
Because of some real significant physical health issues and potential hospitalizations, she's probably not a good candidate for probation, so she would elect to do the misdemeanor attempting maintaining a drug house, even though she would meet the criteria for 7411. I'm not sure with the medication and her medical appointments coming up, it's going to be possible for her to do a probation.
All right, well, let's talk about that. Maintaining a drug house is what's called a high court misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 2 years in prison. An attempt of that is a plain old misdemeanor, punishable by up to a year in jail and I believe up to a fine of $1,000. Are you going to plead to attempting to maintain a drug house? Ashley?
Ashley, that's what we discussed.
Yes. I mean, I have 6 months of clean drug screens from my CPS worker to make sure, like, to prove my innocence on that. And I believe that was on December 11th when I got raided.
Well, let's take a look. Just because you
February
have
3rd
clean
is my
drug
birthday.
screens doesn't mean you didn't have a drug house. The affidavit says they did a search warrant. There were a number of people there, and they found.
Yes, my mistake of letting people move in and thinking they were here to help me and my kids, but instead behind my back they were selling drugs out my driveway because I sleep a lot because of my diagnosis.
All right, well, they found, well, before we get into that, I went through the advice of rights. Do you understand you have all those rights?
Yes.
And did anyone threaten you to get you to plead to this?
No.
All right, now, what they found was prescription pills for someone not in the home, identified loose pills, tutors, glass pipes, cut straws, glass with white residue, Ziploc bags with white powdery substance, about 0.5 gram, gray powder in small folded up pieces of paper, 5 unsecured marijuana plants, a large vacuum sealed bag of marijuana, which is presently legal, in Ashley's purse, a Tudor and glass pipe with residue. She admitted she let people stay at her home that had previous drug problems and they were watching her kids.
I did not know they had drug problems. I mean,
But
you,
did
you
you
learn from
later,
your mistakes, and like, I mean, I don't even let anybody in the home. I want to just get a body scanner so that way I know what they have.
all right, Ashley also admitted to Officer Kuhn to using methamphetamine recently and allowing her ex Abigail back into the home with bond conditions still in effect. So I think that's enough for attempted maintaining a drug house. But I'd like to get a pre-sentence report on your case as well. John, could we just set this for the same date of June 28th?
That would be nice. We don't have to check it. We know it's a good day.
Ashley, because of your medical condition, you're not working right now?
No.
Oops, that's not what I wanted.
I'm working on getting Social Security though.
Very good. Well, if PS is involved, I'd like to know what they've got to say. And
I know my caseworker is Derek Heath.
yeah, we'll get that as part of the pre-sentence report. That'll be June 28th, 11 o'clock.
He's closing the case on June 14th.
All right, well,
Just
we'll find
kidding.
that out. That's a good sign. All right, Ashley, you're good to go. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
No.
Stay in contact with Mr. Bush. Stay out of that world. Get rid of the tutors and the pipes and the rest of it, and keep tested negative. That's all a good sign, and we'll consider that at the time of the sentencing. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Now, I've got Martin Reyes Tellez in limbo. I'm going to bring him back in after I remove Ashley. All right. And I'll Martin, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk to your lawyer, Mr. Bush.
Okay.
And let me get the breakout rooms situated here. John, in the past, we had some residency issues, and I don't know if those are still an issue here or not, but that may be something to discuss. All right, Martin, you talk with Mr. Bush, and I will see you in just a few minutes. All right, Deborah, we're gonna let this tick, and then I'm going to, I think, Paul, what do you have for me?
I guess that Dave said I should speak with Debbie about the case that we have for next week. Well, the one that's set for exam, I believe, next week, right?
Which one?
McLean, Clarence McLean.
Paul, have you been to the jail to speak with Mr. McLean?
I've been to the jail to speak with him, yeah.
Since his second case was authorized, or no?
I spoke to him about, it was a mix-up. When I got reassigned to this case, I originally thought that I was assigned to both of his cases, so we discussed both the cases. Then last week, Attorney Bush still had him on one of the cases, but then it turns out I need I needed to sub in on that one, so I do have both the cases, but, so,
I think that we should have Mr. McLean brought down to Polycom so that we can make a clear record of what the offer is.
that's a good idea.
Thank you.
And then I can go down if, I mean, obviously I can talk with the defendant too about the offer. I wasn't, so that's the thing. Do you have, what is the offer? Is it just for, is it like a global offer? Is it just one of the cases? Do we need to go in a breakout room? Or we're not on the record, are we?
We're on the record and we're still broadcasting live on YouTube.
Okay,
So
well, we may need to go into a breakout room.
Hold it for, we're gonna turn the channel off in a minute while we go get our inmate defendants. Mr. Knopfinger has joined us. Luke, I had a contact earlier this morning with Summer Nichols on a larceny charge, and she didn't appear. I called her. She said you're going to be representing her, and so how about if we just set an attorney pretrial?
Yeah, that sounds good. I was even going to appear, and then I saw on the online register that it was event completed. I should have just appeared. I did file an appearance, a waiver of arraignment and discovery.
Well, I'm sure you did. It didn't make it to me yet, so I called the poor girl and scared her. And but I trust what you have done. But it didn't catch up to me, and it might be an on base, which I didn't look at. So I'll set an attorney pretrial for June 18th. At 9:30 a.m. All right, what are you here for now?
Just that. And then I did send an email about Preston Emmerich. But
I saw it flash through my screen, but I've been a bit preoccupied with the 65 cases I have going on. What are we doing with Preston Emmerich?
I think he confused the times.
Is he here?
Yesterday. I guess I don't know when would be a good time. I know you're very busy.
What's he set for?
He was set for sentencing yesterday.
Oh.
There is a victim that would need to be notified and given the opportunity to attend.
All right, I'll address that, and we'll see what we can find out.
Okay. Thank you.
Jordan, my apologies to you. You've been very patient, and as soon as we get going, we'll do your case first. Let's look at Matt's email. Nothing about it. All right, I'm going to take the show cause cases out and the arraignment cases out. I'm probably going to work through lunch on the paperwork from these cases. All right, I'll be back in a moment, okay? Thank you, Deborah. And then before we bring in the jail, as soon as we finish with the Reyes Tellez, I'll shut the feed off.
Judge, could you put me in a breakout room with Ms. Davis?
Yes. What happened to Mr. Reyes Tellez?
I assume he's coming back on.
All right, I'll close the breakout room. 56 seconds. He's on a phone. He probably... Paul, I'll put you in the waiting room. Well, he's not there. I'm afraid if I delete it, close all rooms. I think we're more than halfway done. Wade Allen, Clarence McLean, Sean Carson Moore, Daniel Obachowski, Hannah Fairley, which we will do first. How you holding up, Debbie?
Hanging in there. John wanted to go into a breakout room. I can just mute and call you, John, if that's easier.
No, Mr. Reyes-Tellez must have disappeared.
No, he's back.
So-
I see him now.
Oh, I'm here. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Oh, there you are. You were behind the thing. So Martin, I'll put you back in the waiting room. Your boss is probably wondering what the heck's going on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let your lawyer and the prosecutor talk. All right, now let's try this again. Every time I try to do more than one breakout room at a time, I get sideways, so I'm just doing one at a time. John Bush and Deborah Davis, you guys can converse. I'm gonna take these files out. We'll finish Mr. Reyes-Tellez. We'll shut the feed off, turn it back on, and bring in our in-custody defendants. Okay, let's look at these files in the meantime. All right, we're doing all right. This.
Would I be available 2 weeks from today in the afternoon?
Your Honor, I think let's see if I can get John in here. Mr. Bush, are you back?
Sounds like he's conferring with his staff. Mr. Reyes, tell us, where are you working?
Oh, I work at Iceberg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your boss's indulgence. Even this is better than having to take a day off work and drive over here to Centerville to deal with this, but you could have made things easier if you had talked to your attorney ahead of time. So I think we're about done here, so stick around for just a moment.
I think Mr. Bush might have lost audio.
I don't know. He's got it muted.
It wasn't showing up as mute a second ago.
I think he's saying mean things about you, so he thought he should mute his microphone.
Good idea.
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Yes.
Crystal clear.
All right. What are we going to do with Mr. Reyes Tellez?
Your Honor, since he's new to the case and there are some evidentiary matters that he's brought up, Ms. Davis and I, with the court's permission, would like to adjourn this set it for a prelim 2 weeks from today.
That would be June 8th. Is that acceptable to you, Ms. Davis?
That's fine, Your Honor. There are going to be 4 witnesses, 3 being police officers, 1 being the victim. So if we need to set it on a date certain other than a Tuesday, that's fine as well. I wasn't sure what your schedule was for prelims.
That should be fine. We have, as I mentioned, the homicide prelim next Tuesday, where I'm covering for Judge Pattison. He's going to be on the other side. And then the 8th, I think, is my prelim day. So we'll just set it for June 8th at 1 o'clock.
There's some
Mr.
discovery
Reyes,
that should
tell
be
us.
going back and forth, Your Honor.
Yeah.
You stay in contact with your lawyer. Your next court date is June 8th at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
You will either have some resolution of the case, or we're going to take testimony regarding these charges to determine if there's probable cause to bind the matter over to the circuit court. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Do you know how to get a hold of Mr. Bush?
I think he said he sent a letter, right? I don't know if he did.
I sent you a letter that hasn't been returned. I sent it to
Well, his office is right on the same place it's been for 75 years, so he's right downtown Sturgis if you need to talk to. All right, do you have any questions?
No, I don't. Yeah.
All right, you're good to go. Thank you.
Have a good day. Thank you.
You know, I'm going to just step out for about 30 seconds. I'll be right there.
You're fine, John. I'm going to turn off the live feed and recall the jail.